Every public channel is already talking about November. Something is coming. Something is flying toward us. They say there will be a system crash. The end. You can hear it everywhere now. In the comments, in the clips, in people's voices. Some talk about an asteroid. Some about an alien object. Others whisper about prophecies, about signs and secret codes. Thousands of theories. But only one question. What's coming? What awaits us? And the most important one, why are they showing it to us? Because let's be honest, you can feel it too. Something about this world feels wrong. It's like someone is replaying a familiar show, the sky, the panic, the prophecy, the fear. But this time, the scale is different. The energy is heavier. The tension, sharper. It feels like everything is preparing for a global reset. But today, we won't chase headlines. We'll go deeper. We'll break it down. What's flying toward us? Why now? Who stands behind it? And what should you do if you're no longer a participant but a conscious observer inside the matrix? Scientific websites give a dry explanation. An interstellar object, 3I Atlas, will pass near Earth. Officially, it's just a lump of rock and ice that drifted in from another galaxy, first detected in 2023. Unofficially, the wave has already begun. Some claim it's not an asteroid at all, but a probe sent by intelligent life. Others say strange energy fluctuations were recorded in its tail, and some believe it's a symbol from ancient prophecies, carrying the code of the beginning and the end. But the real question isn't what's flying, it's why they told us about it. Because if it were just another rock in space, they would have buried the story, like they bury everything that doesn't fit the script. But when something spreads everywhere, when every platform pushes it, and even ordinary people start repeating it, it means the system wants you to know. What's terrifying isn't the object itself. It's the fact that they told you to be afraid. And that is always the first signal. History has already seen this pattern. Halley's Comet at the start of the 20th century. Mass panic, gas mask sales, apocalyptic fear. The end of the world in 2012, a bubble of collective expectation. Disease X. Fear injected into global consciousness as a mechanism of control. And now, November. Again the sky. Again the fear. Again the unknown. Too familiar to be coincidence. If you control the game, you must keep the players from asking questions. And the most reliable way to hold attention is fear. Fear works like the enter key. You upload an idea into the human mind, and through fear, it becomes a program. You don't just think about the threat. You begin to live inside that version of reality. Now imagine this. What if you could project a threat without ever creating it physically, just by displaying it in the sky? Project Bluebeam. You've heard of it. A secret initiative supposedly developed in the 80s and 90s. The goal, to create a holographic reality, to project any image into the sky, the coming of a messiah, a UFO invasion, an asteroid of doom. It sounds like science fiction, but in China, Japan, and the UAE, they already perform real sky hologram shows. Dragons, whales, flying cities. Look it up. You'll see it yourself. Now imagine this. If they can show a whale in the sky, can't they also show you a threat? What if the object everyone talks about isn't physical at all? What if it's not arriving, but being activated? What if it's just a visual trigger, meant to awaken a response in the collective subconscious? You know how the human mind works. It doesn't react to facts, and it reacts to images. Show a threat in the sky, and you awaken the oldest archetype. The fear of divine wrath, the fear of judgment from above, the fear of the end. And here comes the twist. When you look at the sky and feel fear, you feed the system. You give it your energy, your worry, your focus, your expectation of catastrophe. And by doing that, you activate that catastrophe inside yourself. You don't even notice how you give permission for the projection to begin. It might appear as a massive system failure, or a network blackout, or salvation from a fabricated threat. But in all cases, you're not the author, you're just the audience. As long as you believe what you see, you play by their rules. And while millions look up at the sky, someone quietly resets the matrix. Are you sure it's all happening outside? Or maybe you're already inside the projection? If you want to launch a wave of global fear, you must pick the perfect time. And November is ideal. It's not just autumn, it's the end of the cycle, the corridor of transition. The old energy fades out and the new one isn't stable yet. That's when people are most suggestible. That's when they launch major programs, like in 2020, when November brought a new wave across the world. But that's not all. November 2025 aligns with a number of astronomical and political events. The closest approach of 3I Atlas to Earth, the final stage of several Earth monitoring programs, the end of fiscal cycles for international banks, budget closures, political resets, and right at that moment, a new idea is injected. Something's coming toward us. Maybe it's the end. Now ask yourself, what's easier? To impose new restrictions or roll out control programs when people have a reason to be afraid? When they hear about an object from another galaxy? When media and social networks amplify the same image? When you already feel tired and don't want to question anything, that's the window. That's why now. That's why November. But the most important layer is energetic. It's a month of total reboot. Old personal and collective programs burn out. And in that chaos, it's easiest to install new ones. That's why fear is injected deliberately, to prepare the soil. When the old world resets, they'll offer you a replacement. A new order, a new control system, new rules, and you'll think it's salvation. That's why November. Not because something is actually flying, but because they need you to believe it is. Because they need you to look up, instead of looking within. While you're staring at the sky, the structure of the world is being rewritten below, and if you're distracted, you won't even notice it. Ask yourself, why now? Why are they planting the image of global ending in your mind right now? If you want to hide something, the best way is to redirect attention, and the perfect place to send it is the sky. You can't check it. You have no access. Everything there is under the control of those who own the satellites, the cameras, the data. And while you look up, they do whatever they want below. Because while you're being scared by the object in the sky, digital identification systems are expanding. Movement tracking is intensifying. Old banking structures are collapsing. Centralized digital currencies are emerging. Neural networks are learning your emotions, your thoughts, your reactions, and shaping your reality. But you don't hear about it because your mind is occupied with one question. What if it's real? Remember this. The system always distracts you with fear from the place where your power begins. You start to fear, and you hand over control. You become programmable, not because you're weak, but because your energy gets scattered. They can't disable your power directly, but they can scatter your focus so you never gather yourself into a single point. And here's the final layer. The asteroid isn't an object. It's a scenario. A tool to explain failures in the economy, justify network outages, launch new safety measures, and most importantly, rewrite your sense of reality. Because when you live in constant expectation of disaster, you fall into hypnosis. You stop distinguishing what's real from what's suggested. And that's the real danger. If they convince you that everything can end at any moment, you'll stop building your future. You'll freeze. You'll wait for it to blow over. And the moment you do, the Matrix wins. And it's precisely in this state that they can install a new program, a new mindset, a new order, new rules. That's what hides behind this performance. It's not about a rock from space. It's about the energetic reset of the world through the control of your perception. They don't control matter. They control attention. And as long as you're staring at the sky, you don't notice that you're losing access to your own power. But you still have a choice. You can step off the stage, look behind the curtain, and ask, what am I supposed to see in my own life right now, while they distract me with the illusion of catastrophe? If you think history is just a chain of random events, look closer. It's a loop. The same storyline, different masks, same code. And at the core of that code, there's always fear. In 1999, the fear of Y2K. Computers would fail, systems would crash, chaos would come. Everyone waited for the end, but nothing happened. Instead, the financial system was cleaned, programs were rewritten, and new forms of digital control appeared. In 2012, the fear of the Mayan apocalypse. People sold their belongings, escaped to the mountains, meditated for salvation. The world didn't end. But a new phase began. The digitalization of consciousness. Social networks entered total surveillance mode. Algorithms started to rule attention. The era of global distraction began. In 2020, the fear of an invisible enemy. The world shut down. People were locked inside their homes. They didn't see each other. Only screens. No weapons were needed. Only fear. And now, 2025. They tell you again, something's coming from the sky. It's the end. Sounds familiar? Every time, fear works like a reset button. People slow down. They stop building. They connect to the collective expectation of catastrophe. And while they wait, a new system begins. New control, new order, new rules of the game. And the most ironic part? It doesn't happen by force. It happens by consent. You press yes yourself when you choose fear instead of awareness. Every end of the world in human history was actually the beginning of a new matrix. And only a few awakened during the reset. Not to run, but to look the system in the eye and say, I see what you're doing. And this time, I'm not with you. So if you're feeling anxious right now, this isn't the end. It's just a signal. You're standing at a threshold. You can either fit into another mass script or finally write your own. Here's what you need to understand first. Nothing threatens you. When you live from the point of consciousness, no asteroid, object, or skyborne threat can touch your inner code. But here's what they can do. Distract you. Make you run, worry, chase the catastrophe with your eyes, and replay its ending in your mind. Stop. Here's what you really need to do. First, calm your attention. What you see is not the whole world, and it's one projection. Don't rush to believe it blindly. Don't feed the energy of panic. Don't expand fear within yourself. It's not your fear. Ask yourself, where am I in all of this? Second, enter the mode of the observer. Not the victim, not the hero, not the participant, but the one who sees. Sees how narratives are thrown in. Sees how the crowd reacts. Sees how the scenario unfolds. You don't have to play. You can simply watch. And by doing that, you already shut down their script. Third, strengthen your inner code. What do you choose right now? To live in expectation of a blow from the sky, or to build your world as if no projection could ever stop you? You can say right now, I do not accept fear. I do not subscribe to this version. I remain in my reality. I am the creator. Fourth, use the wave. Every mass fear is energy. You can either drown in it or ride it. This is not a disaster. It's a window, a chance to shift your frequency. Do what you've been postponing. Speak your truth. Clean your reality, because they want you to freeze. Instead, move. Show them you're not the audience, you're the writer. Fifth, accept that the old world will not return. Don't cling. Don't wait for things to go back. The old rules no longer apply. But the new ones, you can write yourself. November is not the end. It's a transition, and you can walk through it calmly, clearly, powerfully, without fear. Everything flying toward you is not outside. It's your mirror, your test, yours, and you're ready. If you're hearing this now, it means you're not afraid. It means you're awake. And from this point, it no longer matters what they show in the sky, because you remember who you are. You are not the reaction. You are the creator, the point of power in this world, the one who stayed true to themselves while everything else was shaking. And that alone is enough to survive any matrix. Thank you for being here. Thank you for your awareness. Thank you for your presence. You are not random viewers. You are the ones who feel, the ones who see, the ones who are awakening. You are the creators of your destiny, and you already know we will handle everything. No external threat can extinguish the light within, because within us, there is power. Within us, the code of the new world, and it's already active. From here, everything becomes stronger, deeper, freer. I wish you clarity, stillness within, real emotions, and a beautiful evening. Remember, the light has already awakened in you, and nothing in this world can turn it off.